You know, it seems like every week I read an article about how sedans are just dying off and sales are falling, and it's really, really sad, especially when I'm spending a week with a beautiful large luxury sedan like the one I'm driving here today. My name is Omar, and today I'm test driving the 2021 Lexus LS 500. Large luxury sedans, they're either meant to show off your social status by you driving one around town or by straight up you being chauffeured in one. So how many people actually buy these things? Well, let's skip over 2020 because you know COVID, and let's check out the sales figures of how many of these giant boats were sold in 2019. The Mercedes-Benz S-Class led the pack with around 12,500 units sold, and the BMW 7 Series came in next with around 8,800 units sold. Lexus ended 2019 with around 5,700 units sold of the LS, beating only, anybody want to take a guess? Beating Audi, which sold just under 3,000 units of the A8. So what is Lexus doing to make the LS more intriguing to buy? Let's take a look. Today I'll give you a tour of the 2021 Lexus LS 500, and then make sure you stick around until the end of my review to see my driving impressions and see if I recommend this over the competition. Make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you hit like. All right, let's do this. All right, so let's hop into it like we usually do by taking a look at all the cool and interesting things that you should know about the 2021 Lexus LS, but I want to point out something that really bothers me first. Of course, since this is a large luxury sedan, we have to check out the rear seat comfort and luxury, but here is something of interesting note. None of the rear seat luxury I'm about to show you is standard. It's all a part of a pretty pricey package called the Executive Package, which you can only get on the LS 500 and the LS Hybrid. You can't get it on the Lexus LS 500 F Sport. So yeah, you have two executive packages to pick from. The first one is just the regular executive package for $17,580. The second executive package with the Carrico glass trim will set you back a crazy $23,580, which is the price of a brand new Civic, even like a mid-trim Civic. And the prices of those packages isn't really what bothers me. What bothers me is that if you add on the executive package, Lexus forces you to add a bunch of other options, meaning you can't get any of the executive packages just by themselves. So my test model here carries a starting price tag of $79,250, and say I wanted to ball out and go for the executive package with the Carrico glass trim for $23,580, my total price should be $102,830, but it isn't. After all the options that I'm forced to add, the price becomes $109,750. Why? Possibly due to the production allocations and the way the LS is built on the assembly line, but still, why am I being forced to add on additional packages that I probably don't want? Or they should just be standard included in that massive price tag. Either way, now that we got that out of the way, let's see what the executive package with the Carrico glass trim gives you. So you get this beautiful quilted leather interior trim all around the cabin. It's very nice in here. Everything is basically wrapped in leather. And then on the doors, you have this hand-pleated trim, which looks kind of cool actually. Also on the doors, you have a glass trim that is inspired by traditional Japanese Carrico styling, which looks pretty dope. It is very artistic in here. The package will also give you 4-zone climate control, so each passenger in the LS can enjoy their own climate zone. You also get 28-way power adjustable front seats, which in my opinion is way too many ways to adjust a seat. But you will also get massaging seats so you can kick back and relax while you're chauffeuring around somebody. But obviously the real cool stuff is in the back. When you get back here, you're welcomed by a 7-inch touchscreen display right here in the center console. So while you're here in the back seat just chilling, you can control things like the audio and the climate settings. You can also control the power peasant blockers for each window and for the back window, so you can have some privacy back here while you're just relaxing. If it's too hot and sunny outside, you can close the shade for the rear panoramic glass just like that. Pretty cool. You can also control your rear heated and ventilated seats. Pretty cool that you have both in the back. And if you're tired, stressed out, or if you're having some back pain, you can get a really nice massage back here. And if you really want to kick back and chill, just go to the passenger seat here, move that seat all the way front just like that, so you can have some more legroom back here and really spread out. And then once the passenger seat has moved all the way forward, you can come back here, push this button, and you can fully recline all the way, and it's awesome. And if at that point you thought that was enough, it's not enough, because you also have an ottoman. You can push this button right here and an ottoman will come up from your footrest area, and you can just fully chill and stretch out and possibly even take a nap and go to sleep. Oh, and by the way, you also have a vanity mirror back here so you can make sure you're looking good. And say if you're driving around somebody rich and you're their chauffeur and they hop out of the car without returning everything back to the upright position, you can use the infotainment system to return everything back to the normal position right from the driver's seat, so you never have to get out of the car, go back there and do it from the rear screen. You can do it all right from the front. While I'm up here, let's check out this digital rear view mirror. It looks pretty cool and it has multiple languages just for the mirror. I don't know why you would need that when everything else is just icons. There's not many words here. You can pick between English, French, and Spanish. In French, by the way, quit is called quitter. Now, before we move on, one of my biggest issues with the 2020 Lexus LS was that there weren't any physical buttons for the front heated or cooled seats or for the heated steering wheel. You literally had to jump through hoops in the infotainment system to activate these, and it really pissed me off. You really had to jump through like 3 menu screens to get to the heated and cooled seats section. Well, have they fixed it? Kind of. We still don't have any physical buttons, but you do have this single button right here. Once you push it, you're brought into the infotainment screen section where you can turn on your heated and cooled seats. And it's a little bit easier now since this is a 12.3-inch touchscreen display, but I still think there should be physical buttons for easy access. You shouldn't have to jump through any hoops to turn on your heated and cooled seats or your heated steering wheel. Next up, let's talk about pricing. Pricing for the Lexus LS 500 starts at $76,000. Then the F Sport starts at $79,600. And the Lexus LS 500 Hybrid starts at $90,500. Let's talk horsepower and torque. Power still comes from the 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6, making 416 horsepower and 442 pound-feet of torque, and it's mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. Not much to see under the hood at all since everything is covered here, but it does say twin-turbo right there, so you know you're driving the faster one and not the hybrid. Either way, that twin-turbo will allow you to go from 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds with a top speed of 136 miles an hour, so it's not slow by any means. Fuel economy wise, for the LS 500 all-wheel drive, you're looking at 17 city and 27 highway. You have a 21.7 gallon tank capacity. I'm averaging, after a few days of driving, a total of 15.5 miles a gallon. So how does the new 2021 Lexus LS look? Well, it's pretty much the same. Nothing really different here at all. But that said, I do think that the Lexus LS is one of the most stylish large luxury sedans in the segment. Yes, the S-Class and the 7 Series are kings of the segment, but I think this looks really nice. Of course, it looks really nice in the right color. I think I would go for white. This LS here is iridium silver. I'm not really a big fan of this color. Personally, if I were to get a Lexus LS, it would be the LS 500 F Sport because it looks a lot better, a lot sportier, and it has a wider stance. Of course, I can also forgo that whole executive package headache that I'm having. But yeah, one thing I do want to point out, I love the way Lexus does their headlamps, and I really appreciate the fact that they do it unlike any other automaker. Each model has a different headlamp design. Not every model has that whole copy and paste formula like you see from Audi, like you see from Mercedes-Benz. Each model has a different headlamp shape, and that gives the overall car a better styling. Oh, and for everybody that hates chrome, Lexus has removed the chrome trim in the rear taillights and has switched it to piano black so you can sleep better at night. And if you hate piano black, then don't sleep at all. Let's hop inside, and it's pretty much similar to the outgoing Lexus LS. There are a few upgrades here like the giant 12.3-inch touchscreen display and a few rearrangements. One of the biggest upgrades that you can't see visually is for the 2021 model year. Lexus has focused on increasing the quietness and comfort of the LS, and they've definitely done it. It is dead quiet in here, and it's definitely one of the most comfortable cabins that I've been in. Yes, the interior of the Lexus LS might not be as fancy or stylish as the S-Class or the new 7 Series, but there is something to be said about Lexus and their ride quality. I've said it many times before, the Lexus ride quality is simply unbeatable when it comes to comfort. No matter what kind of terrain you're driving on, this thing just flies over everything. And when it comes to quality, again, yes, the Lexus LS isn't as stylish as its competitors, but Lexus's quality is next level. Everything in here is so well put together. Everything in this cabin feels really nice to the touch. There aren't any gimmicks here, but there is a sense of luxury and quality all over this cabin. Now keep in mind, you don't have to go crazy spending around $115,000 like my test model here, because all LS trim levels come packed with a bunch of standard options. You now have a 12.3-inch touchscreen display with navigation, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. All of that is standard, although you don't get wireless Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. By the way, I think the standard navigation system graphics are kind of weak. I would just use Google Maps with satellite view because it looks much better here. All Lexus LS trim levels come standard with heated front seats, ventilated front seats, and you also get a standard heated steering wheel. The one here is upgraded to the wood steering wheel. Now, heated rear seats are standard on the F Sport and the Hybrid, but they are optional on the regular LS 500. You also get a power moonroof and a bunch of safety tech like adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring, lane departure alert, road sign recognition, all of that is standard. And not to mention you have a ton of legroom in here. You have about 39 inches or 38.9 inches to be exact, but yeah, you have legroom for days. Now, before I give you my opinion on how it is to drive the new Lexus LS, let me point out a few random things that I'll have to show all of you. You have 4 cup holders, 2 in the front for the front passengers, and then you have 2 in the back in the center armrest for the rear passengers. Here are what the keys look like to the 2021 Lexus LS. Pretty standard, pretty Lexus. No remote start here. Door open and close sound from the outside. By the way, you do have soft closed doors on this 100K plus Lexus from the outside. And from the inside, it's beeping because I have the keys in my pocket. But here you go, from the inside. Pretty solid. By the way, look closely when I open the door, the seatbelt comes out to greet you. That's pretty cool. Unfortunately, a wireless charger is not a part of the game, so you only have 2 USB ports. You don't even get USB-C ports in the new Lexus LS, so that's kind of disappointing. And rear passengers riding in the ultimate level of luxury also get 2 USB ports, no USB-C ports or a wireless charger back here either. And of course, let's do a quick indicator and horn sound test here on the 2021 Lexus LS 500. Indicator first. Pretty standard on Lexus. And now for the horn sound, let me just roll down my window and here we go. Oh yeah, didn't expect anything less than that. And now that I've given you a tour of the 2021 Lexus LS 500, let me give you my opinion on how it drives. All right, let's get to it. All right, so we already know that the S-Class is the king of the segment. It's not only the king, it's the innovator that pushes the envelope in this segment further and further, which is why it's also one of the most expensive ones with the 2021 model year, carrying a price tag of over $100,000. The BMW 7 Series and the Audi A8 both start around $86,000. That said, those German sedans are well ahead of the competition when it comes to luxury and tech, which is probably why a car like the Lexus LS starts at around $76,000. Oh, and by the way, let's not forget the Genesis G90, which starts at around $73,000. To me, the Lexus LS is well behind those sedans when it comes to being innovative. I mean, this thing just got a touchscreen display, but even then, the infotainment system is still very outdated. But sometimes it's not all about the bells and whistles. Sometimes it's just about the reliability and the comfort. And when it comes to that, the Lexus LS is right there at the top with the best of the best. This thing is insanely comfortable. It's so comfortable that it doesn't even need the comfort mode that it has. It literally just glides down the road and flies over bumps and imperfections on the road. Yes, I get it. Lexus may not be the most innovative luxury brand, but when it comes to a comfortable ride quality and having an overall comfortable interior, it's almost unbeatable. You do have Sport and Sport Plus mode, but nothing really exciting happens when you put it in those modes except some fake engine noise being pumped into the cabin. It's actually pretty fake, but it sounds all right. But forget all that because nobody really cares how fast this thing is, even though this will do 0 to 60 in about 4.6 seconds, which is pretty respectable. There are some things that really bother me about the Lexus LS, and some of those things can actually make this sedan just a little bit better. For example, I'm still pissed about the lack of physical buttons for the heated and ventilated seats. I know they added a little button here, which takes you to the screen where you can turn them on, but it's still one more step. They should just be physical buttons right in front of you. You don't have any ambient lighting, so at nighttime, this interior just seems pretty bland, and they put a lot of time into making this look pretty artistic with the Carico glass and the pleated cloth. If they put some ambient lighting around it, it would look so much better. The rear seat luxury amenities are cool, but they could have made it a little bit cooler by adding folding tables so you can get some work done back there, or a refrigerator so you can keep your drinks cool. Those little things could have been a part of that insanely expensive $23,000 executive package. But if you're looking for a large luxury sedan and don't care for all those bells and whistles, the Lexus LS isn't so bad. Yes, the Mercedes-Benz S-Class is ultimately the best option in this segment, but at a starting price tag of more than $110,000 for the 2021 model year, it's also very, very expensive. Not to mention Mercedes-Benz has that whole hyper screen infotainment system, which can get a little confusing for the people that can actually afford something that carries that kind of a price tag. So the Lexus LS with a more basic infotainment might not be such a bad option for them. Either way, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe. I'm almost at 10,000 subscribers, so thank you so much for your support. You can check me out on Instagram and on TikTok. My handle is @OmarDrives. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Peace. Driving around in an off-white Lexus, driving so slow, but BK's from Texas. Me, I'm out that bedrock home or that boy Biggie, and I live on Billboard, and I brought my boys with me. I think that's how it goes.